How's it going, everybody? It's Yong here, and welcome to day 50 of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. We are officially 1/6 of the way through the series, folks. Before you proceed, I highly recommend you check out day 51, in which I discussed the first time that the clean version of Versus 13's main theme, Somnus, was released as a soundtrack to the general public. Today I'll be talking about what could be the first signs of trouble for the Versus 13 development history. After Somnus was released as a soundtrack on March 26, 2008 through Yoko Shinomura's Dramatica album released on that date, a little less than 3 months later, on June 19, 2008, website Eurogamer released an article detailing some rumors that the development of Final Fantasy Versus 13 might have been placed on hold. This information came directly from an issue of Famitsu's magazine, which was later translated by outlet Forever Fantasy. Apparently in the article, former director Tetsuya Nomura said that Final Fantasy Versus 13 has been put on hold because the entire Versus team is helping to finish Final Fantasy XIII, which was said to be the #1 priority. Understandably, some fans were quite upset to hear the news, but Square Enix was quick to catch on and respond to Eurogamer's inquiry on the matter. On the same date, when asked about these latest rumors, Square Enix responded with the following: "Reports that development for Final Fantasy Versus 13 is on hold are false. The truth of the situation is that when free, some staff from the Versus team have been helping with the 13 team on development of Final Fantasy 13. Development for both titles is continuing as originally scheduled." Eurogamer then added that this contradicts what was translated from the Famitsu article, in which Nomura used the words "on hold" to describe Versus 13's development status, and said that the whole Versus team is helping finish Final Fantasy 13. It is my belief that June 19th, 2008, the day these two Eurogamer articles were released, were the first signs that the general public saw of what would end up being a troubled development history for the game. While Nomura said everything was on schedule, that clearly did not end up being the case, as the game would take another 8.5 years to complete. Looking back at this now, it truly does feel like they were beginning to realize they had bitten on way more than they could chew by taking on too many ambitious projects at the same time, and they paid the price. While they did eventually manage to get their act together after Versus 13 was handed over to Hajime Tabata and renamed to 15, there are still other titles like Kingdom Hearts 3, which, like Versus 13, have been hinted at for a very long time, but seems to have no end in sight. I'm as excited for Final Fantasy XV as the next guy, but there's no denying that the game's troubled development history, as well as Square Enix's inability to efficiently juggle all the cogs they have set in motion in their gargantuan machine, has been worrisome. The last bit of news that I would like to cover in this video comes a month after Eurogamer released their articles on June 19th. A month later, on July 14th, 2008, during Square Enix's E3 2008 press conference, the company revealed that Final Fantasy XIII, once a PS3 exclusive, would also be coming to Xbox 360. However, when asked if Versus 13 would be multi-platform as well, one of the company's representatives replied with a definitive no, although as we know now, this statement wouldn't hold true. And thus concludes today's episode of Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. Thank you for tuning in. I know none of this is mind-blowing information, but I think it's important to reminisce the good, the bad, and the ugly aspects to the game's development history in order to get a full picture of how we finally got here. And that's what my goal is with this series. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts on Square Enix's statements from back then that didn't quite end up panning out. And to be further updated on all things Final Fantasy, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.